on it, or me. Was that the answer responding to your question, or is that you referring to yourself?
Oh, yes. I am getting more and more impressed. The more context that SME gets, every meeting I have, I'm adding it to the most recent set of transcripts. And so SME has like the last 10 meetings that I've had as a background of my work. And so I didn't have to give it much of a prompt and it was able to come out with that. And I was amazed. I was like, man, you are getting really good at knowing me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how do I use that to say acquire my prompt from Grok for that Miro scenario that we discussed?
Oh, that's that's great. So I would say that when you are creating this with Grok, I would recommend that you tell Grok that you want to do a use case for creating a Miro board.
Okay.
And Grok will be like, Grok knows what Miro is. Miro board is a very common phrase. He'll know what that is.
Yep.
And you can simultaneously have that be a skill. And through the process of creating that, through the process of creating that output from that session, you will be able to have Grok build a skill document that you can use to hand off to the agent, the one that's more generalized.
Okay.
That's the workflow that I would do. If you wanted to focus on making a Miro presentation, have that be one skill, and that when you're done and you have that system prompt as well, you're then able to say, okay, just like we did with this Miro board, now, agent, I want you to create another workflow, another skill to help me create a PowerPoint.
Okay.
And then that becomes another skill. And every presentation you make, you use it as an opportunity to refine a skill. Me now has the skill of being able to create it's a very detailed, itemized summary. And I'm able to take the context of an entire transcript, 12,000 words, bring it down to about 4,000. That is one skill. I don't try to get SME to do everything. I try to get SME as that system prompt, and then I give that session one skill.
Okay. I'll have to think through that, probably go through that practice-wise to understand what this one skill, two skills, three skills things is about. So,
wow, let's go for it. Audrey Lynn is working on this too, so it's very related, very relatable. If you want, we can do it. Or do you want to?
Audrey Lynn, are those meatballs?
Sort of. They're Scotch balls.
Scotch balls. Eggs.
Eggs in the middle of pork.
Oh wow!
A recipe has it so that there's a third coating or a third layer, and I'm just not into doing it. It's I'm grateful that I'm just getting to this point.
Cool.
So I like to multitask as I listen to you guys. It helps me.
Yes, I've gathered that from past sessions. I'm glad you could do that. I cannot. I have to pay attention or I lose 90% of it.
What would you like to cover? If you want, we can continue talking about the sessions.
Okay, let's do that then. So
yeah.
So what I had opened Grok and I was about to start typing in what I need. So what I was thinking of doing was taking from the prompt that you had sent me and say, okay, I want to develop a system prompt for doing a mural board. I'm attaching, well, except I wouldn't be attaching a markdown file of a system prompt called SME. I wouldn't be doing that, would I?
You can attach it with the intent of using it as a template. So make sure, Grok, I'm sharing with you a colleague's system prompt.
Okay.
But that this system prompt, I don't want to copy it. I want to have that be my outline for my own system prompt.
Sure.
Then it will know the objective, and you can attach it, and it won't. It is good, especially if you're going to be just starting out. So your context window is going to be small enough, or that your context window is going to be expansive enough that it won't be hallucinating when you give it that kind of a command. If you were to do that later on in the session, once you're up to that 75% threshold, if the session context window is at about 75%, you've kind of maxed out. You have a depreciating return on the remaining tokens.
Okay.
And something like this, like what we're talking about, this is pretty deep context work. Grok 4 is going to be where you're going to, I would suggest you use the deep think option on Grok.
Okay, because right now it's automatic, which is, yeah, I don't know if I have to pay to, but anyhow, we'll see. I'm not paying to use Grok right now. Okay.
No, and
so I'm
on
starting
the free
out.
version,
I'm starting
on
out.
the free
I want
version.
to develop. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, on the free version, you can select Deep Think.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So let me. Can I share my screen?
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay, so I'm developed a system prompt for developing a mural board assistant. Now, do I keep the word assistant there?
Yep. And I would add LLM assistant.
Okay. I'm attaching
and what I would do is I would change the language a little bit. You want to develop a system prompt, give it the command. In this session, you will help me, or we will collaborate in engineering a system prompt. Yes. That way it knows, because you are giving it a pretty sizable context today.
Sure.
And so we want to make sure that this context is accompanied by a nice prompt that gives it good, clear instructions.
Okay.
This is where the investment is made.
Right. Okay, so I'm attaching a markdown file from a colleague of a system prompt called SME. Do I say that?
Yeah.
I'm attaching. Okay, that was developed. Oh, I see. That was developed. Okay. Use this as a structural template and reference for the level of depth and precision I'm aiming for. However, my assistant will serve different purposes than SME.
Yes. Here is where I would give it a good, clear, I don't want this, and I do want this. And what I'm hearing you say is, I don't want this to be a copy and a paste situation. And you can say that. It'll know what you're talking about.
How do you mean a copy and paste situation?
I don't want you to just copy this system prompt.
Okay.
I want you to format my assistant's prompt in a similar fashion. Beautiful.
Is that what you mean?
Yep, totally. And then I would just take however out. My assistant will serve a different purpose than SME. Yep. Yeah, that's a great way to start it. And you're thinking you're going to just put that in addition to that prompt that I gave you?
Which prompt did you give me? Because this is what you sent me this morning. Are you referring to the prompt from?
What I see on the screen right now, all I see on the screen right now is just these two paragraphs here. On Telegram, I sent you that longer one.
Correct. It includes my context, what I need from you, etc.
Yeah, you've got that included in this, right?
Well, I can. I'm not sure how I would or why I would.
Do you find that if you were to start a session with Grok, do you find that what I sent you would be helpful for Grok to contextualize this?
Well, I have to, whenever I start a session with Grok, it's always like brand new. Like I start a new page, open a blank, okay, and Grok says, what does Grok say here? What do you want to know? So it's like a search bar, blank bar with something for me to fill it in.
Yeah. Now with that, maybe I'm not quite understanding your workflow, because I think to myself that's the perfect spot to attach to paste what I gave you as a prompt. You could just paste that into Grok and add what you have there on that Word document. Or if you wanted, you could take what I have, paste it into that Word document, and just reword it.
Yeah, I'm not
and
sure
then just give. Oh, here, let's try this. I'll show you my screen.
Yep.
Dun, 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 dun. Just have to reconfigure. I went full screen, and that kind of changes things for me. And I gotta reshare Opera. Here we go. And it'll be there in a second. Just have to create a new window and bring it over so that I can then bring up Grok. Okay, so here's what I would do with what I sent you, and I'll just paste it. Where'd Telegram go? Okay, here it is.
Oh, I see. See, I don't have anything. All of my information is under history. I don't have anything in projects or anywhere else. So literally, when I go to Grok, I get this page that you're on right now. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yep. So I just pasted that, and what I'm doing now is I'm going to go ahead and upload a file. And I'm going to upload. Does that show? Oh yeah, it's showing. I'm going to upload. Where's my SME? Engineering data skill. Oh, that's in an LLM word. First mate. And I'm going to grab my instructions. So this is the instructions. This is my system prompt right here. And I'm going to, so I select it and I click open. And now you can see up here, there's the file. So I gave Grok SME, the system prompt, and I said, here we go. This is what I pasted to you. This came from my LLM.
Okay.
As it got, it says, oh, I know what Paul likes. And here's what Paul's client, because I uploaded the transcript from our meeting this morning.
Okay.
And so then it got a good context of all of our previous conversations, and it came up with this so that you could give it to Grok.
Okay, so all I see there is key principles for my assistant. I don't see the stuff above that.
Yeah. It goes.
Oh, I see. You did. Okay, you scroll up.
It didn't paste the whole thing. Let me try again here. Oh, yeah, I must not have copied the whole thing. Oh, it's not complete. You're right. Let's go back to that and copy. Down. Oh, wow. I can't even. Okay, so I got to copy selected text. And let's do this here instead. Oh, shoot. Oh, yeah. And here's there's where you can click on the file and it shows you the contents of that are marked down.
It's kind of the instructions file? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yep. What in? It's not pasting from Telegram here. It's weird. Okay, let's go like this. I want to develop. Here we go. Come on, select. Yeah, Telegram's not letting me select the text. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Okay, I'm going to do it in 2 sections. So doing this in 2 sections now because Telegram is being weird. So that's the first part. Now I need to add the next part. So I'm copy and pasting this twice for some reason because the computer's weird. But now that thing that I sent you is now the prompt for this session. Complete with my copy of C. And now Grok has the whole context. Now, if I click this, I have Grok on a system prompt, so I don't want to push this button because this would be just confusing. Because Grok is my SME. Grok is, for me, my Grok account has SME's directives in it. So I don't want to send this command. It wouldn't accomplish anything.
Right, of course.
But that's what I would do. I would take my system prompt, upload it, attach it to this session, and paste what I sent you there in Telegram. Just paste that text.
Now some of the stuff that you wrote there in Telegram is not applicable to the storyboard that I'm looking for out of Miro.
But you would use this to create a system prompt. The system prompt then learns to use a skill like creating a Miro board.
Okay.
So what we're doing is that we're building the system prompt first, and then with that system prompt, we will create a skill using your presentation as the kind of the training ground.
Okay. So, I see. So the identity in Christ informs everything is part of that scenario. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Cool. Yep.
Yes. Now you are telling Grok the whole context of your mission. And if you want more context, like if you can think of conversations we've recently had that you want as context, you just let me know. I will send you the transcript file and you can give it to Grok and it can come up with the spit out and whatever. Like you just say, I want to make out of this transcript, help me generate a fill in the blank. And then that session is focused in on one skill. But that today, using this prompt and that file, you can start by creating the system prompt that you want to learn different skills.
You know, my dad often asked me when I was a teenager and he was giving me instructions. He'd always ask, do I always have to draw things out for you? And I've learned that the answer is yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
well,
the mural
and people
board,
we know.
What's that?
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was going to say the mural board is a great way for me to learn things because it connects the dots. It connects the boxes. It connects this idea and this idea. Well, where do they connect? Are they connected directly or indirectly? Is there something else in between them? So
yeah. Yeah.
Anyhow.
Yeah. And that speaks volumes to the whole thing about Apple. The reason why Apple made the mark that it did was because prior, there was no user interface that used images to represent applications.
Yes. Yeah.
And Steve Jobs was like, people think in pictures. And so we don't want our interface to be just text. It needs to be picturesque.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
That is the one thing that I know that Apple is very strong on. Okay, so now I see that you've still got attached there at the bottom the words begin. Oh, did you change? Yeah, you did change. No, you do have that. Begin with your discovery questions. Ask them in batches of 3 to 5 so we can work through this systematically.
Yes.
Now, are you asking Grok to do that? Or are you telling me that, to ask them in batches of 3 to 5?
Good question. I'm saying tell Grok to do it like this.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep, you bet.
Oh. It's not letting me copy.
Out of Telegram.
Copy selected text. There it is. Okay.
All right, I'm looking at your Word document again. I went ahead and unshared mine. Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah. And now that's what I would do is that I would just edit this, like reword this, make sure that this is coming from you. This is just a draft. And have it real, like you'll see things throughout this content that will prompt you to add something for context.
Okay, now is there a way for me to put an identifier in here, call this assistant like Watchman or something like that?
I would start by that. I would start by saying, I am creating an agentic LLM named, and fill in the blank. Yes, absolutely. You want to give it an identifier because as time goes on, that identifier becomes a whole world of context. In my sessions, I start with, hi, Smee. Grok does not have a clue who Smee is. But because my system prompt defines Smee, I actually define the identifier. That's one of the first things. Your identity is the second header in my instructions file. Your identity.
Okay.
And so when I say, hi, Smee, in the identity of this system prompt, SME knows exactly who he is because I have tagged a folder of my brand voice. I have the mission for Daniskjold. I've got the objective for Next Gen Merchants and how that's going to be a DAO. The Next Gen Merchants are going to bring that together. I'm talking about, I've got the What's Up Canada. SME helps me out with all these different projects. And when I say SME, then I give it the command. SME can then organize and say, I know which skill I need to access. He has all the skills because that, and we'll do this in Grok. I can show you how to build skills in Grok.
Okay.
And then you've got that. Now you've got that. Where am I going with that? I can't remember. Oh, yes. Whenever you can, just like humans, you need to make definitions of certain terms. And the more of those terms you can define, the more context each session will have.
Okay. So I'm going to call it Watcher.
Nice.
Which is another name for angels.
Oh, wow.
Anyhow.
That's great. Okay, cool.
Okay, so I have to read this just to edit it to make it personally mine, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want that.
Ooh, well defined. See, whenever you do that, you are creating a greater distinction. It's awesome. Hi, Maureen.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I just got through doing a lot of.
Oh, you muted yourself when you put your device down there. Oh, and now we can't see you.
So I just got through with weeding. So I feel really good in the buckwheat now has a clear access to water. So we want to plant some more buckwheat with a purple flower that really is good for the soil and of course feed our chickens and feed ourselves. So I'm really happy right now. But I was looking at some YouTubes last night about what are you guys talking about?
Oh, well, Ian right now is actually working on his draft system prompt for his own LLM.
His own, say it again?
His own LLM.
Oh, LLM.
Yeah.
Is he going to share?
Oh, if he wants. I was going to say, if you wanted to look at some markets, we haven't even done that yet.
Yeah, like people are talking about copper.
Uh-huh.
What do you think, Paul?
All of it. They're all going to be, they're all precious resources, precious metals. Like, we don't think of copper as a precious metal, but it is because it's responsible for transmission of electricity.
Right. They were saying, I don't know if this is true, that silver is a better conductor of electricity.
Yep.
You know what's a better? You know what a better conductor is graphene.
Mm-hmm.
Graphene's even much more
conducive
to conductive.
Wasn't it like 6 times or something?
I don't know what the conductivity of it is, but it's far exceeds many others that we use.
Yeah. It also can store data 20, that was 200 times more efficiently than
Wow.
silicon. Yeah.
Wow.
So you can compact it with the amount of material. You are 200 times more efficient than the same amount of material if it was silicon. Yeah.
What about, like, when you were talking about real world assets, what about like investing in a business? I'm thinking about that.
Oh, yeah.
This is a personal, somebody that I know personally that has a business, and investing in that. I think, who was it say, oh, I think it was Audrey Lynn talked about, wasn't it? Didn't she talk about shares? And I mistook it for her business. There, ooh, ears perked up.
Yeah, you did. It's not that I'm selling shares, but I would like to share with you what it is that I do at some point in time.
Yeah. Well, I am looking for a business to invest in. I feel that it's just like impossible. Crypto is nice, and it's not that I don't want to invest in that, but I would rather invest in something that I think is moving forward and be a part of it. Maybe not, like energetically, in the sense of giving it energy, and those are my kind of thoughts. That's my personal world, but also energetically in the form of money, but as a form of attention and just energetically, creating a container that works smoothly and efficiently and for the good of all, and those kind of things. Like Quartal, I think is a good, that I would like to invest in Quartal. I think Quartal is a really good. I think Midnight, I like privacy, but I like Quartal a whole lot better because it's it's creating a world that's alternate. It's the way I want to live. So that, and Audrey Lynn is doing, you and Paul are doing it the way I want to live. That's what I want to invest in. And I'd like to be a part of energetically, personally, and financially. So I don't know how to do that with, I can't teleport yet. I plan to, but I choose to teleport.
Yeah.
But maybe that's energetically, a light body, and so that Karen, she does sound healing.
Audrey Lynn, looks like you're trying to chat, but it's
Oh,
it's
you
muted
are.
still.
Please
Audrey.
go ahead. Yeah.
No, it's still muted. There we go.
Love technology. I look forward to being able to bilocate.
Yeah.
I want to be everywhere at once.
Yeah, anywhere you want to be. Exactly. Yeah. I love a dialogue. Excuse me. I talk and think fast, even at this age. But
keep training your LLM, and you can biolocate.
What's an LLM?
No, I shouldn't say that. Biolocate's not the right word, because you're not changing the physical location of her biology, but that you are able to clone yourself. LLM, Maureen, that is a language learning model. That's the technical term for what people in error call artificial intelligence.
Oh, okay. So it's like, some people are saying that we are an image here. That's being said, that we are an avatar, and our spirit, because they make a distinction between soul and spirit. Our spirit never leaves the now, the all that is, the perfection, and that this soul comes down to make the conduit, and who knows for what reason, but this is what they say, and I'm exploring it a little bit, that the soul comes down to bring this emotion and to tame the emotion in the sense of integrated in with spiritual experience, and to be able to become aware of the choice that you make in the middle ground, in the sense of integrating that. And that would be a choice rather than, it's just another expansion.
Yes.
To expand,
and I see
the duality.
Yeah. And I also see like the spirit, that is one with God. And that the physical body is the interface that I have with the video game environment that he created.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I could see that possibility exists. Yeah, it's like an avatar, and it's an LLM, right? It's a language.
It certainly is artificially intelligent, that's for sure.
It only knows what it knows. And it doesn't know what it doesn't know, which has always been a convention.
I do see how deception has taken rule over much of what we experience as reality. And so then I say, yeah, I am artificially intelligent because what I think I know is likely been alive from somewhere. And everything that I think I know, like even who I think I am, I'm still using language patterns to satisfy what I think other people think of me.
Yeah, of course. What a good realization. Because you want to be understood.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any, that is a legitimate, valid kind of, as long as that's what you know you're doing. You're saying something so that they can get the gist of who you are, because, of course, you don't even know who you are, but you can get the gist of it. But anyway, I'm just putting that out there because it is the new moon, and I'm a farmer, so I like to plant seeds. So I would like to. Was that Audrey in the background somewhere? What are you doing, Audrey? Are you making something? What is that?
She was working on Scotch eggs.
She's making haggis.
Making haggis while she can, right?
Yeah, I tend to multitask. My apologies if it's distracting.
No,
it's not distracting at all.
No, it isn't. I think it's wonderful. And, you're going to the market. And why can't you have an atmosphere? I think I love to have multiple things going on. That doesn't mean that the attention isn't being paid.
Yeah, I witnessed myself listening to market analysis over these last months and realizing just how much I take in as I'm doing these other activities.
Absolutely. It's all right brain, context. Learning the words start to land a little bit better. Ooh, is that me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just Audrey Lynn's microphone's a little loud, and so it's feeding back right now. That's okay though. It's not. It's normal.
Marcia, one of our little group members, she often says, how can you got so smart? And I said, I just can. And I listen to the words, and the words start to make sense. And it's like learning a language. It is. I always felt that if you wanted to learn anything, learn the language of it, and then proceed from there. Because how can you even conceive of it if you don't have a language to conceive of it?
That's right. That's right. It's there's a correlation that Helen Keller made in her writings, where she said that before she had the capacity of language, while she may have had her temper tantrums because the food wasn't getting into her mouth, while she may have wept bitterly, she recalls nothing because she couldn't put the experience to a language that her world was actually dark.
I would really take her word for that, because she had the knowingness of both.
Mm-hmm. I think, and I could be wrong, but based on what I've learned about ontology, that we don't experience anything without language. That there can be an experience, but that it's not something that is, you can't relay that.
Okay, so awareness is linked to knowledge. Awareness is linked to language. Oh, I don't know. Because, well, maybe everything, it all depends on how it's formulated by the brain, if you want to call that a language. Because you're going to become aware of something. And if that awareness is distinguishable, I guess that would be a language, wouldn't it? I'm thinking of a rock that has consciousness, and what's the difference between consciousness and awareness, and that whole link. And it's, to me, that it's such a mystery, and to just even touch it is like amazing.
Tom Campbell says that Tom Campbell defines consciousness as awareness with a choice.
I wonder if this might land between awareness and consciousness. My mother was aware of what was going on in her household between her husband and her daughters. And yet she chose to be unconscious to the effects on her children, and unconscious to do anything about his behaviors. She was aware. She was very aware. So I don't know if that provides, well, that's my comprehension.
Get the sense of gradation, like levels of consciousness that have a certain level of awareness, and it can be described like Ken Wilber talks about that. Is that in her world, the level of consciousness she was at, she did not feel at choice. She didn't feel she felt powerless. Do you know? I mean, in that world, you just are at the effect of a man, or, this is just the way the world is. And there could be just various levels within that.
Mm-hmm.
But I like consciousness with a choice.
Is it possible that awareness is, like you said, it's this gradient of levels, and once we are aware of something, we become more conscious overall?
Link to expansion. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Is that along the lines of how Oracle Girl mentions it as the purification?
Absolutely. Yeah, the purification is all that stands in the way of the fullness of something. And I'm just saying that. I'm not speaking for Oracle Girl. This is my
my
little
and I'm not speaking. Yeah. I'm not speaking from the finish line either.
Yeah. That just came out of my mouth without me thinking about it.
Yeah.
None of us are speaking from the finish line.
No, I know.
Nor will we be until we're finished.
Until we're finished.
I don't know that that's going to happen. I think expansion is infinity. So, anyway.
There we go. Anyway.
This is like being in college and going to the the lounge, the student lounge, and just having a discussion with people. I love it. I love that. Yeah. I love doing
that. Hey, Michael, good to see you. You can make it today.
Yeah. How are you guys doing?
Good. I've got, that was the wrong thing to press.
Ron is joining us for a minute.
Oh, right on.
There, right on. Sound like a surfer. Right on.
Yeah, I guess, eh? I wouldn't, we don't surfers from here, so. When was the last time I was hanging out with a surfer? I don't know. All right, here we go. Silver CFDs. Since the all-time high, we have this stretch here. Since the all-time high, we've dropped a little bit. Not much. We've been consolidating ever since Wednesday. This low here from last week, this rise constituted in $800 billion of bailouts to people, $800 million in bailouts to the institutions that were shorting silver because the mainstream said, it's got to come back down to this level. It's got to go back down to 54. And so that's what happened during this time, was that those positions were taken. they said, oh, okay, great. If it's going down to 54, let's short it. So they shorted it. But the leverage that they put on it required the Fed to contribute $800 million to bail them out, to keep them afloat. They're too big to fail, so we're just going to wait a little bit longer and then it'll come back down. No, folks, it's not coming back down. If you listen to Wayne Peters, go to whatsupcanada.substack.com. You can go and check out his video on Friday, where a very prominent gold distributor, bullion distributor actually, he was talking about, he got phone calls. He estimates that half of the local dealers are out of stock, that they are actually now, the people who were normally buying silver and gold, they are now buying scraps. They are offering scraps to their community, like to buy scraps. So this is going, like jewelries and watches and or electronics or whatever. Just whatever you don't want, I'll buy it. And they're actually paying based off of spot. They're actually paying for that silver. Because people who have the capacity to refine silver, which you can do at home, you got to have some equipment, you got to have some knowledge, but those people are now getting busy.
How about coins?
Oh yeah, keep going. Keep getting those coins, rounds especially. That's going to give you the most liquidity when it comes time to exchange.
What about though? No, I meant like nickels and dimes and all that pre-63.
Oh, yep. Yeah, well, and if you can get those, that's good too. We've got this trend line here. I just want to bring attention to it. This trend line hasn't been touched for a while. We normally see a pretty good pattern of touching trend lines. We haven't touched it for a while. So while the price, I don't think, is ever coming back down to 56, it may very well come back and retest this trend line. And currently the market structure is here, around here. Market structure there around $70. So it might come back down that far. We'll see what happens.
Could you expand a little bit more on why you don't think it's going to touch 50, 56 again?
Shortages.
Just shortages. That's it, eh? Okay.
Let's go like this. I'm going to go back now to, let's go on the daily chart, zoom out a little bit here on silver. Here is April, March 2020. Silver prices since then, they have never been that low. But I can tell you right now that during this time here, up until about middle of 2020, the Canadian Mint was backordered. So whenever that happens, whenever there's a shortage, you can bet your boots you're probably not going to see that price for a long time.
Well, notice it came back down way back in 2022.
I bet
in July
it didn't
of
reach
2022.
$11.
Yeah, it
What's
didn't
that?
reach that low.
It didn't reach the previous low. March 2020,
No.
it was $11. It came back, but we never saw the price during those shortages up that first half of the year, just through recovery. It was through recovery that the shortages were. Once it recovered from that drop, let's zoom in.
Cool.
So now here, that's February, beginning of February. It was people thought it was going to go higher because things were going so good already back in September. But then there, February 2020 was the drop. And it was during recovery, the Canadian Mint was back ordered for like 6 months. So let's say it's July, August, somewhere in here.
That was right after they shut the whole world down for COVID.
Right, exactly. And this period of time, having no stock, we didn't see that again. It did come down. You're absolutely right. But remember, market structure is here. market structure on the highs. Sorry. This is market structure. This is where it was when things went out. So the price did not come back to those levels when we lost stock. And we just look for the patterns. This is, again, the 2-hour chart consolidating. Who knows? All I know is that long term, it's still a very, very safe bet. $200, I'm going to save probably $200 by the end of 2026, $200 US. And from there on, it's anybody's game. It's going to be about how long can they make the war last over the chips and AI and all that stuff. How long can they make the cyber war last is going to determine. I think we're going to see nations, especially nations that are not part of the American banking system, we're going to see a lot of those nations renegotiate their energy contracts, and that's going to send who knows where it's going to go. I have no idea. That's why it goes back to why did U.S. go and invade Venezuela? It wasn't because of the drugs, and it certainly wasn't because, although the oil was a part of it, that was kind of like the public excuse.
It was because China was buying all the oil from Venezuela, and we wanted control over China's buy of the oil. Or knock them out of the game anyway.
And I think that's why U.S. is going after Greenland, because Greenland is another angle that it can surround Canada.
Right.
Because right now, as it is right now, Canada borders Russia.
Right.
And for the last 50 years, Russia has been securing the northern border.
Right.
But we know why that is, and it's because what we have happening with that pole shift is going to make it where the equator actually goes north and south through, well, it's not going to be north and south anymore, but the equator is actually going to run the length of North and South America. And so Russia has been preparing for that day. The States, they know to prepare for that day, but there's Greenland's in the way. So they got to take it so that they can surround Canada, because Canada and China are still very good trade partners with oil. And that just won't do. That just won't do. So yeah, I don't want to get started with that. Because then we get into the whole conversation of the 51st state, which, by the way, I wouldn't mind it if the Greenland became the 51st state, because then the whole plan, the whole language pattern that he used that went after he got inaugurated, that'll be invalid, because now Canada would have to be the 52nd, which would just be it would be terrible for his career. Gold, a little bit of a retracement on gold here yesterday. Was that? No, that was earlier today. On the 2-hour chart at 8 o'clock, had a pretty good dip coming back to find old highs. Good sign. If we can stay above that, you can bet your boots we're going to be creating more highs on that. Again, though, be mindful. It's been a while since we touched this trend line. So that might come into effect here. Trend lines provide some support. And when it's away from that support for a while, there's a tendency to have the bears pull things down. Going on to Bitcoin dominance. On the rise over the last day. That's why we've been seeing the altcoins have a little bit of a recession, a little bit of a pullback. The market dominance is, of course, how we're determining what the market share in cryptos is towards Bitcoin. Currently at 59%, 60% being that major resistance line. If we stay below this, and I think that what we're seeing is, we've been downtrending here since Christmas, that right now we're just seeing that retracement. I think that this line is going to present enough resistance that will continue the downtrend. But one thing to be watching, and this is something I'm really grateful that Ian shared this, was Monero. We looked at an interesting graph where do I add this? Oh yeah, it's added now. Monero has taken a big jump over the last week here. And I discounted it, and the reasons were personal. I discounted it, but looking at the patterns, it's like, well, what makes it do that? And I don't know. So then I went and looked at the pattern. What happened last time it did this? Oh, that was the last alt season. Wait a second. No, it wasn't. Zooming in, we can see that it took off 6 months before alt season. That's where it had its big hoorah moment, where I don't think it ever came back to that, did it? Yeah, later on, back in 2022, Dark Night of the Soul. But this kind of movement here precursored alt season by about 6 months. So this could be, and then I went, looking at this pattern, I was like, okay, well, who was buying it here? Because all of these coins are just meme coins, which is a way that you can tokenize a community. And so who was it that was buying at this time? And it was developers. They brought their money and equity into Monero because they saw it as a great exchange coin for their projects that they were working on because of the privacy. So the builders started buying their Monero as they were finishing up their projects, so that when the projects took off, they could buy into them. Because look, they started selling off their Monero in May of 2021. Alt season peaked in November. We go to Ethereum, which is the silver. That's the digital silver. If we look at that, what happened there in 2021, it was March, April, May, and then here, there was the peak, December 2021. But Monero was long gone by then. So it's an indicator into it could be, again, we're looking for patterns. Not saying that means that it's happening in 6 months, but that's what happened last time when Monero pumped. Oh, that's silver again. Let's go on to Ethereum. Oh, that's actually what I was looking for. No, here's the peak. November 2021. All right, Ethereum. Yeah.
Is there any chance, just like back in, was it 2019 or 20, with the silver shortage, that there will no longer be a silver shortage? Oh, what happened to everybody?
Oh. I just brought them back. Yep. That's a good question.
Which think means that the price could come back down if there's no longer a silver shortage.
Yes, the price could come back down. It depends on how long that shortage lasts. Like the shortage was
the way things are developing, the demand for silver is going to continue long term.
I think what we're going to see over the next couple of years is a funneling of silver, or a prioritization of silver, even nationalization, simply because of how much of a rare earth metal it is and the perception that it's required for all those chips.
Okay, very good, thanks.
Yeah, great question.
But in the perception that it's required for the chips, that's going to, when it really does, when people realize that it's no longer required for it, then that's when the change will happen? Question mark?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, when the .com bubble was going up, before it even reached the top, it was already known that it was a bubble by the people who had the foresight to see, wait a second, this isn't how it was supposed to be. This isn't how these .coms were supposed to play out.
Right.
That we don't have to do that. But what happens is that the businesses who are not caught up with tech They don't know any better. So a sales guy comes along because they had a great brainstorming meeting at one of those WEF events. Oh, no, sorry, I meant marketing summits. Then they just went ahead and, came up with a great sales plan to take money from businesses while it was a ripoff. And everybody knew it. In tech, people knew the fraud of the dot-com bubble. And today, the same thing is happening. These CEOs are talking heads on TVs. They're on social media. They're everywhere in the media talking about their products. Everywhere. What are they doing? They're simply marketing to their customers. Everybody in tech, you got people that are working as chief technical officers for Anthropic that know it's a bubble. Because none of this, what we're going through, all of the chasing that we're doing is simply not necessary. But enough businesses with a lot of money don't know any better, and they're going through the same thing that they did with the dot-com bubble. And that's why, it was like 2 years, about a year ago probably, Audrey, you and I were on a market analysis, and we were talking about how, this is what we're witnessing. This is just another wealth transfer that, the AI and where we were at a year ago was the equivalent of where the internet was in 1995. I remember that. I remember I was in rural Alberta. We had the dial-up internet. 56 was something that the server offered, but we were so far out, the resistance in the line didn't let us connect faster than 36 baud. And we downloaded a 15-second video that was 360, little tiny thing, grainy as hell. And we downloaded that sucker in 2 hours. And when it was done, it was a historic moment in the household because everybody came down and hovered around the computer and watched 15 seconds of a video from the San Diego Zoo. And AI last year would have been at that was at that point of history.
It's still in it.
Everybody knows it's a bubble.
Yeah.
What was that, Michael? Sorry?
Oh, it's still in its infancy.
Yeah, totally.
It's wild to think what it's going to be in 5 years.
Oh. With nanotechnology, you take that into consideration. The emergence of nanotechnology is going to make it where you can get a $5,000, $6,000 printer in your garage, like a new next generation 3D printer, nanotechnology. You'll be able to build a car in your garage. Oh, and you don't like that model anymore? No problem. Take it to your garage. You can have it disassembled. Remember, it's just nanotechnology. Have the car that operates. We're not going to think of cars in the way that we do today, but I'm using the terms so that people recognize I'm referencing a mode of transportation. The mode of transportation, if you don't like it, you just bring the material of the transportation back to your garage. Maybe it's a local guy because he's a nerd and he's just that kind of guy. That's the guy right now who has the CNC machine and he's got the printer and he's got, he's making the toys with the 3D printer. Those are the people you want to get to know because when nanotechnology comes out, they're going to already have the practice on how to use that technology that they will be able to build a car for you. And if you're driving around and you're like, oh, I don't like the way this is, you drive it back to him and he can disassemble it and reform the nanomaterials into a different model, the one that's, that's going to make you feel better.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
But I mean, the reason I joke about this is because we're already there in another fashion. I mean, think about it. Most of the rest of the world, if you're hungry, you have to go get something to eat. Whereas most of the Western culture, you just have to push a button.
All right.
So we have this instant gratification culture that I think is going to be that split off. That's going to be that other track that goes off to self-destruction simply because there's no connection anymore.
Yeah. There's going to be a break-off point at some point in time. Like we were talking about the last time, yeah.
Yep, totally. All right, midnight. Let's check out this chart. Midnight's down nice and low, been bouncing up against this resistance. This has got a pretty heavy section here. Again, really new coin, so it's not much point in analyzing too much of it. But yeah, it's just been consolidating downwards, getting more and more narrow. ADA, at that crucial level before where we had that consolidation, we talked about this. Who was it that I was chatting with? Oh yeah, this was Denise yesterday. She was asking, well, what happened with what's been going on? And so I just told her, look, we got this Wyckoff thing going on where we had this consolidation zone and then this accumulation. It doesn't mean that it's a reversal, but that the theory says this is definitely it indicates the potential. That accumulation zone is likely going to provide support going forward. We may come back down and test the 34 line, but that Wyckoff, that price action, that's why I got the D in question marks, because right now we've got a C and we're there right now. I'll go through a couple more major alts here and then we can go to Q&A. It's already been an hour. Here is XRP on the 2-hour chart. We can see that consolidation is in effect again. This time we're seeing it a little bit higher. You know, after Christmas when it jumped up, ever since that high there, we've been consolidating. Actually, you know what? We are not. We are downtrending back towards, looks like we're going to come back and test this out. That's a tough one. I don't know. The fact that there is so many, this is a major pivot point tells me that we really haven't gone down more. We're just testing it. Polygon over in the video gaming world also got a little bit of a injection there. This coincides with that drop that we saw in Bitcoin dominance. All the altcoins benefited from that. And looks like we found some support over at 14 cents. And I think that's all. No, you know what? Let's do the meme coins. NPC meme coin right now sitting at 1.1 cents. It's going to be nice when this one comes back. And then, of course, we've got the number one meme coin right now, the SPX 6900. Consolidating ever since November. Looking like it's going to come and test this line here pretty soon. That might be exactly what's going to happen. We're just going to see it fizzle out here in this descending wedge.
You don't think SPX is going to continue upward?
We'll see. I actually think that the meme coins are going to kind of take a lead in the altcoin season or in alt season, simply because of the culture that it is and how the influencers within this sect of cryptocurrencies, the influencers are very knowledgeable and they can recognize the patterns and they've been able to call almost every pump. And so when I start seeing them start talking about the liquidity that's coming in and the positioning of it, and we see the I would like to see Ethereum really get above this 4,000 line. That's a psychological level for that meme. And
Is that because the meme coins are Ethereum based?
Many of them are, yeah. The Ethereum, of that $4,000 level on Ethereum is a pretty strong psychological level. It's provided a lot of resistance in the past. And once it gets above like a solid lead on going upwards, because this was the last time, that was the last time it was higher. This high that we created here, I mean, it was a little bit more, but it's not trend setting. We'd have to actually get support from this level before we can say we got a trend. And so this little extra bit pushing up, to me, that's not a new high. We have to get above that 4,000 and have a solid footing on it. At least support 2 or 3 times before I would say confidently that we're now going up. Every time that it's gone above 4,000, it hasn't lasted very long. So that is a major level. Once I see Ethereum get above that $4,000 level, that's when we'll start to see the life return back to everything else. And I think the meme coins are going to be kind of like that days before.
Hey, Michael,
maybe a
could
week
we get
before.
you to mute yourself? Your diesel engine is coming through.
Oh, yeah, I got it. Thanks, Ian. Yeah,
Thanks.
I barely heard that. It was pretty low for me. Thank you.
So I guess my question is, why did you bring up Ethereum relative to SPX?
Oh, well, SPX, that contract's on Ethereum.
Okay.
So this contract being on Ethereum is definitely going to be a big, it's going to be there's going to be a big pull towards it. And I'm thinking the memes, the leading of the memes, only because it's kind of like there's Bitcoin and then there's alts. And then now memes are another subsect that is coming forward within the crypto sphere, only because of its capacity to do things like Web3. I mean, Web3, the way that content gets consumed is drastically changing. And the meme coins are the easiest way that people can create a small little community, create an online platform, and join. Oh, you want to contribute to our community? Go stake some SPX. There's nothing backing the coin except for the people in the community. And that model is, I believe, going to be that cooperative model that we end up applying at a local level. And they're just ahead of the game because, well, they've been in tech. They've been seeing the same things I have. Any questions? Last comments? Everybody have a good rest of the day. We'll see you Monday.